next talk, we have another showcase of digital lending workflows, this time geared towards small enterprises. So the team presenting is from IIFL Finance, Finvu, and Finbox. So please can we have another round of applause?
Hello.
No, you'll have to do it. Okay, hello everyone. So I'm Mehka here from IIFL Finance, and we are here to present about how we have used account aggregator in our business loan journey. IIFL ventured into digital business loan 2 years back, while we have been doing business loans for years now. But we moved to a complete digital journey close to 2 years back, where we started off saying that we would want to give a complete digital experience to small enterprises who are trying to avail the loan, so that the decision is instant, the eligibility is instant, and everything is on the go, that he gets the loan offer and he knows whether he is eligible for the loan when he is applying on the journey as well. So what we did with, I will just talk about the intro as well. We are one of the leading financial services firm in India. IIFL Finance has 3 verticals where we have gold loan, business loan, and housing loans. Business loan over the last 2 years has grown significantly for us. And in business loan, as I said, the target audience that we have is micro and small, medium enterprises that we're targeting. For this segment of customers, there were very few players who were offering a digital experience. And we said that is the problem statement that we want to solve. So the problem statement that we wanted to solve was that how can we completely digitize the process of availing an unsecured business loan? Right? Typically, in an unsecured business loan, there are a lot of documentations which are needed when you are trying to avail the loan. And these documentations in the earlier era as well as today by traditional financial institutions are collected manually from the user. The journey, and specifically with account aggregator coming in over the last 1 year, is a smooth flow that we have, which we will be presenting to you all, that we have developed, co-created with Finbox to ensure that the user gets a complete digital experience. But one of the challenges that we face with this segment, which is a small, medium enterprise segment, is that they're not very comfortable uploading a bank statement. See, what happens is, it's a mobile-based journey. Typically, the user would want to download an app or use his mobile phone to apply for a journey because it's a DIY journey. And when he's doing that, uploading of bank statements become the biggest challenging task for him, because once you download a statement on your phone, you're not pretty sure where the file got saved, where would you go and upload it. And specifically for population in tier 2, tier 3 towns, even though they have access to technology and digital mediums today, they're not as well versed to figure out where the file would have got stored and uploaded. What account aggregator has done for us is it simplified the process. It's as simple as giving me a mobile number and an OTP consent, and the entire banking data gets, comes to the financial institution to assess the credit underwriting of the user. Now, this becomes a click-through process, just like your UPI payments today is all you need is a PIN to enter for the money to be transferred. Similarly, in an account aggregator, it's a simple process flow through which we are able to get the banking data of the customer, and then we run a real-time decisioning on the data that we are getting to tell him whether he is eligible for a loan or not. A lot of time, these users were not served, or they were an underserved segment because there was lack of data availability which was available. And banking data is the most rich set of data point which is available when we are trying to assess whether the customer is capable of repaying the loan or not. While Bureau helps us capture intent, the capability is something that gets captured by banking data. What we are expecting that with GST, which is expected to go live by July, GST data being available would get us the next big wave here, because a lot of our users that come today, again, face a lot of challenge when they're trying to give us GST data, because right now the GST flow is not as seamless. You will have to go to the GST portal, you will have to give me the credentials. Most of the time the credentials are with CA, so it becomes very difficult to take out any kind of GST data, while you are able to clearly know whether there is a GST linked to a PAN number or not, to assess the GST data to give an eligibility, that is again a problem statement that still lies today. Hopefully, with GST going live on the account aggregator ecosystem, we are expecting that it will be far more easier, and we might end up getting a higher eligibility for the user, because GST-based users will typically get more eligibility when it comes to loan. So there's going to be more ambit of users that we would be able to underwrite using the account aggregator ecosystem. Yeah, so now we can actually present the flow that we have. So we'll be taking you through the account aggregator flow, but the overall flow is a pretty simple flow. We ask in the basic details of the user, and then we first run a bureau eligibility. Only when the user becomes bureau eligible, we move to banking, which means at the first stage, we're trying to assess whether you are a bureau qualified user or not. As soon as you're bureau qualified, you move to the banking stage. That's what we're going to present now. So the user has to enter his mobile phone number, and there's an OTP which gets fetched when the user receives the OTP. And then the user has to approve the request, and once the request gets approved, to get So since it's typically 12 months of statements that we're trying to fetch here, so here is the loan offer which gets displayed immediately as soon as we get the bank statement. It's an instant offer generation that essentially happens. And then we take the basic details of the user. And if you can see in our journey, most of the time we try to pre-populate the addresses that we get from the bureau and the statements. Since it's a business loan, it's very important that we end up taking business proof as well as business details of the user. And that's it. So it's a Nash setup that is happening at this juncture. And that's done. So the entire loan process has got completed. The documents will be reviewed by us, and then the disbursal typically happens within 24 hours. So that's a complete online digital journey that we have made for MSMEs.
Okay. Cool. Uh, Hi, everybody. What you saw is a digital SME lending journey, and hitherto SME lending, of course, has been super slow and clunky, and it has come to the digital age fairly recently. And account aggregator as the base infrastructure has really helped us make the life of the SME very easy when it comes to accessing credit. Right, and Finbox, of course, has been working with the account aggregator ecosystem since June 2021. We were one of the very early adopters. And we've been sort of building a bunch of use cases around account aggregator. So I think the potential of the account aggregator framework has just we've just scratched the surface of the framework. There's a bunch of stuff that we can still, do on the account aggregator side. So, for example, what we saw was digital straight-through underwriting while applying for a loan. But there's a bunch that is still, it's still being matured. So real-time monitoring or early warning systems, cross-sell offers, pre-approved offers, etc., are all things that we do, and we've really seen deep potential around these use cases, which create a lot of values for both the borrower as well as the lending or the financial services institution. Right, so what we are seeing as upcoming use cases for account aggregator are, of course, lending is there, insurance and PASA calculation in, for example, life insurance industry, real-time underwriting, similar to lending. All of these use cases are being explored. Personal finance management, of course, is a very hot topic, and the ecosystem is still figuring out how the economics stack up. But that is a very rich consumer as well as a business finance sort of engagement use case that we believe is going to take off meaningfully. There's wealth management, compliance filing, AI-driven fintech. More generally, data leads to better experiences that we can create for the end users of our platforms, and that is something that the entire ecosystem should achieve, aspire for, and we do too at Finbox. So yeah, this is something that we feel overall changes with respect to the account aggregator framework coming in. So what we are trying to sort of enable is essentially lowering the cost of underwriting overall, and which also, in the end, enables financial inclusion for borrowers. So if you underwrite at lower cost, you can pass on those cost benefits to borrowers. Also for lenders, it leads to lower frauds, it leads to lower cost of processing, more straight-through processing, etc. So a lot of operational efficiencies also get passed on to ultimately the borrowers, right? So yeah, fraud I think is a big topic in lending specifically. There are a lot of different channels that lenders source loans from, and when they are based on PDF-based journeys, which has been the dominant mode of receiving financial information of borrowers, it has led to a lot of different problems in the entire lending value chain. You can imagine if a lender doesn't trust a bank statement, they will have to do manual verification, maybe personal discussions, etc. They will have to have dedicated folks to really, verify this information. Then, parsing of this information becomes a problem. Overall, people sort of try to manipulate various account balances, etc., try to inflate their eligibility. All of these things go away. So not only is this more trusted, it sort of lowers the overall cost of fraud at the lender side, and it improves the convenience for the borrower as they get their sort of offers and eligibilities and the final sanction very, very quickly. Right? So fraud is a very, very big use case. We've seen the frauds drop meaningfully, overall in lending funnels, and then we are sort of, there is near zero fraud in account aggregator-based use cases. Done? No? Yeah, I think we've seen this in the HDFC journey as well, and we've seen account aggregator as being the preferred mode of sharing bank statement information. And I think this is something that everybody in the ecosystem is experiencing. It is a consented flow. It is easier, and it is sort of the edge cases of submitting less or more information sort of go away, which improves the overall quality of the experience for the borrowers. And of course, drop-offs are a big pain point in the bank statement step in any lending journey, because when the borrower hits the bank statement part of a lending journey, they go in search of bank statements. They will download them. They will try to get it from their CA, etc. And then maybe this becomes very, very difficult, and ultimately, there are a lot of drop-offs from the journey, which is a net loss to sort of the sourcing agent or sort of the lender as well, because the cost of acquisition of that customer is lost. Now, in the account aggregator flow, of course, it's just a few seconds. So the borrower typically continues, and we've seen that the drop-offs meaningfully reduce, which changes the unit economics of the entire lending lending journey. And it also really unlocks a lot of different kinds of, different ways of sourcing these sort of loans. So you can essentially basically embed these into sort of platforms, etc., where now unit economics stack up, and everybody can sort of build a business around these things. Earlier, because it required a lot of assistance, a lot of calling, etc., a lot of sourcing agents sort of didn't want to play in this area. Yeah, so basically, a quick plug. So Finbox essentially builds what is called Bank Connect as a product. AA is part of the entire banking statement analysis, ecosystem that we've built. There are multiple ways of submitting bank statements. Account aggregator is yet not live on all banks. So there are a large number of financial services institutions whose statements still need to be submitted. And there needs to be a coherent way of submitting this, and coherent way of really, sort of making all of these options available to the user. And we build this SDK, software development kit, which gets customized according to the loan journeys and look and feel of the lending application. So that's Bank Connect for you. I think, product screens we'll just quickly go through. And this is the spend analysis part on top of Bank Connect that we do, which is available on APIs. This is borrower profiling that we built, and it's also available for folks to consume on APIs. This is, I think, merchant categorization. And this is, so we've been sort of early adopters, and I think the ecosystem has really responded overall to account aggregator use cases, and we see nothing but success going forward for this ecosystem. Thank you so much. I'm hoping that this gave you an insight into what is happening, and then there's lots more to come.
Thank you so much. Once again, we'd like to offer a token of thanks to our speakers. So can we please have a gift? We have a gift for you. And one more round of applause, please, for IIFL Finance, Finbox, and Finvu.